There is some good news for democracy. Now, last week I reported that Democrats in Maine were going to vote to change the way the superdelegate system worked in their state. Now, I'm actually happy to report that this amendment that I reported on earlier has passed. Maine will now allocate their state's superdelegates based on the results of the state's presidential caucuses. Now, this amendment, as I had mentioned before, is not binding in this election, but it will take effect in 2020. Now, the good thing is that this could set a precedent for other states to take similar action. Now, this proposal, if you didn't see the previous video, is sponsored by State Representative Diane Russell, who also encourages superdelegates to support the candidate who won the Maine caucuses in March. That happened to be Bernie Sanders. Now, Bernie won the caucuses by a pretty big margin, getting 64.3% of the vote. But see, it's not just about Bernie. It's about those that win a state. Well, those that win should get a majority of the state's superdelegates, just like they do with the normal delegates. Now, right now, in many states, superdelegates have already pledged themselves to vote for Hillary Clinton at the convention. And that's even in places where she lost the state. What that does is that essentially flouts the will of the people. Now, in Maine, for example, there are currently 5 superdelegates who are free to vote for the candidate of their choosing. 3 of them have already said, even before the caucus, we're supporting Hillary Clinton, no matter what. When the convention comes, we're going to vote for Hillary Clinton. Even if Bernie wins, even if someone else wins, even if Martin O'Malley or, had he been in it, or Jim Webb or whatever. Jim Webb, what is it? Is this Jim Webb? The guy who killed a man? Anyway, I can never think of his name. We're going to vote for that person and not for Bernie Sanders because we can do whatever we want because we're a superdelegate. Well, I don't think that's right. And a lot of people don't think that's right, especially a lot of these people in Maine. Now, one superdelegate is backing Bernie Sanders, and of course, the 5th state superdelegate is uncommitted. And pretty much they shouldn't even count until the convention because they actually haven't cast their vote, but still. Russell said, quote, "The reason that I've put this in is that we've heard from people all across the state about how frustrated they are that you can actually have a popular vote where 63% of the delegates go to one candidate, and yet superdelegates are not voting in proportion to that." She also adds, "I want to fix it." Or more accurately, in my opinion, unfix it. See, the rules right now benefit those who are party insiders and establishment figures. Because that's mainly who superdelegates actually are. Party officials, lobbyists, insiders, etc. Part of the establishment. So it's no surprise that they had first overwhelmingly went to Mrs. Clinton in 2008 and now. Now, Russell also said that although some county delegates didn't approve of the amendment, their view was, quote, "not well received by the convention." Their arguments were basically respect your elders and remember McGovern. George McGovern. Now, of course, sadly, all too often, we hear this argument. Oh, remember McGovern, remember McGovern. Well, Sanders isn't McGovern. He's never been like McGovern. McGovern never had massive independent support, nor did he have the fundraising, nor was he taken seriously by the electorate. Now, we're not talking about the corporate media. They never took Sanders seriously. Or the establishment, they never took Sanders seriously. But the people sure did. Now, also, he's not George McGovern because the politics at this time are different than what it used to be. So it's not really even a comparable situation when it comes to Sanders and McGovern. Now, here's the other thing. The whole respect your elders thing, right? On that, fuck that shit. I'm not going to sit here and listen to someone just because they're older. Now, if they're smart, and they know the issues, and they know what they're talking about and make good points, then I will listen, and then I'll respect their opinions. But I will not blindly respect someone just because they have lived longer. That is not a good reason. Fuck that shit. Now, Russell continues. If the party wants to engage and bring in younger people, they can't turn around and tell them to wait their turn. And a lot of millennials feel like they're being talked down to. Gee, I wonder why. Perhaps it's because we have been. I mean, for example, millennials, you're lazy. Oh, you're entitled. You need to respect authority. You need to respect your elders. You're not being realistic. We have to elect Hillary Clinton because, don't worry, she'll get things done. Sanders could never get things done. On and on and on and on and on, right? You've heard all of these bullshit arguments before. First off, what's realistic is that if you argue from a position of strength, for example, a mandate that you get from winning an election, you can start off, or you should start off, from your best position. Now, Barack Obama did not do that. He had a mandate, and he started off adopting Republican ideas. Now, I want to give you an example of this. Let's talk about single payer. Now, what I think you should do is that you tell Republicans, you get elected and you tell Republicans, we want Medicare for all. And so do many of your voters, because it's true. You start there and you negotiate from there. And you might be surprised when you actually end up with something in the middle, like a public option. Now, the thing is that Hillary Clinton negotiates from the center. She starts the center, even center right. The same thing with Barack Obama. Started off in the center, center right, when you should start off with the strongest position, especially after you've won an election. But see, here's the thing. Hillary Clinton says, no, we have a right-wing proposal called Obamacare. Let's negotiate from here to make it maybe slightly better, maybe, but essentially let's just preserve it kind of as it is. Even while insurance costs are likely to significantly increase, it is not a perfect law. Because it's a right-wing proposal. It is a market-based solution when we needed something much different than a market-based solution. What we wanted was a single-payer system. What we ended up getting from negotiating from the center was crumbs. We didn't negotiate from strength. We didn't use the bully pulpit. We didn't take advantage of our mandates. And here's the thing. Barack Obama got rid of the public option in order to get Republicans to vote for the bill. You want to guess how that went? Well, we already know. No Republicans supported it. None. And in fact, they voted 60 times to repeal it. We'll get the same thing with anything Hillary Clinton tries to do. Even if it's modest, even if it's a right-wing idea that she ends up adopting, just like Barack Obama, they'll still hate it. They'll still hate it because that's what they do. And in the end, they'll end up moving further to the right because they have to oppose the Democrat in order to get elected. But see, we millennials are apparently the unrealistic ones. No. We're not unrealistic. We just see through your bullshit. And we're tired of seeing the party that was supposed to represent working people and young people and poor people chase Republicans to the right by adopting their ideas and becoming just another party of the 1%. We're tired of it. We're fucking sick of it. We want to change that. And see, this move in Maine, this is a good step in reining in that establishment and making the primary system ultimately more democratic like it's supposed to be.